Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. That feels so weird to say. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do YouTube for years and I've never been able to. I just kind of haven't started. So I'm so excited to finally be here. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do a Blink-182 look. So if you're interested, just keep watching and I'm so excited. It's time to gel the hair back. So I was just filming some TikToks where I was squeezing gel in my hand. I didn't want it to go to waste, so I put it in a glass bowl. So if you see me using gel out of a glass bowl, you know why. The things I do for TikTok. We're gonna wanna slick it straight back. So I'm just brushing it out, making sure there's no tangles before I introduce the gel. Okay, now that it is all combed out, let's start working in some of the gel. This is the Got to Be Glued Ultra Glued Invincible Styling Gel. And when I tell you, that is all correct. It is literally invincible. This stuff would hold your hair through a hurricane. Like, I don't know what is in this stuff, but it's very intense. Once it's all wet back to the crown of my head, I'm using a brush to comb it out and slick it back. Now that it's all slicked back, I'm just gonna use a ponytail and try to secure this as tight as I can. And then for this look, I'm just gonna do a really tight bun to get my hair completely out of the way. Well, I went to TikTok just to film a couple clips, you know? I got sucked into the For You page for like an hour and I don't even know what happened. It's gonna be a late night together. And now it's time to glue down my eyebrows. Looking good. Now to prime the skin, I'm using Milk's Hydro Grip Primer. I have a love-hate relationship with this primer. It is extremely sticky, but some of my all-time favorite foundations don't really work well with this primer. I just need to find my perfect combination, you know? And then I'm going in with e.l.f.'s Poreless Putty Primer. I have extremely large pores, so just to fill those in. For the actual base, I'm mixing two products together. Meron's Cream Stick in White, which is super pigmented, but it can be kind of heavy. And because I do my looks for such a long period of time and I'm really oily, I need something that's a little bit more similar to a foundation, just since I don't get those really heavy cracks. So I just mix it with a little bit of LA Girl's Foundation Mixing Pigment in White, which is basically like a super pigmented white foundation. And these together are my dream base. With cream paints, I would normally recommend having beauty sponges that you specifically use only for cream paints, because if you use like a colored one, it can ruin your sponges, just to where like if you do a red base and then you try to do normal foundation with it later, there could still be some trapped in there that gives your foundation a red tint. However, with white, I don't really have that problem, so I'm just using one of the beauty sponges I normally use for my face, just because the other ones are dirty. Some already got on my hoodie. I don't even know if you can see that. Dang it. I've rubbed it and made it worse. Okay, I need to take this off. My boyfriend absolutely hates cream paint. It is very hard to get out of everything, but it's such a good way to achieve this look, you know, because who wouldn't want to look like this? I'm just adding a little bit more of the Meron cream stick over my eyebrows. I can never take myself seriously when I look like this. Also, the worst part about painting your face, mainly like white, black, and blue, is that it makes your teeth look so yellow. I promise they're not that bad in real life. I am going to be covering my entire head. You could take this up as well, but I found that cream paint is so much harder to get out of your hair than the other product that I'm going to use here shortly, so That's what I recommend doing, is just keeping the cream paint on your face. I'm gonna be setting with two different powders today. The Meron Color Set powder, which is like a translucent powder that you can put over any cream colored base and it doesn't really affect the coloring. And then also their white setting powder, just to bring back some of that brightness from the white. I'm just taking some little disposable sponges and I'm really saturating that in the Color Set powder. I'm gonna be working bottom up. Make sure it's completely even where you're going to be setting, because you can't really fix it if it's uneven. And just powder this baby up. Once I do about half my face, I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush, dip it in some of the Color Set powder, and just buff off the excess powder. Now I'm gonna do the top half of my face using the exact same technique. I'm taking some of the white setting powder and I'm going to buff that onto my face. Now that I look extremely powdery, I'm going in with some of the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is from their Pride collection and it smells so amazing. Like, I would wear this as a perfume. It smells sweet and sexy, kind of vanilla-y. They need this to be their main scent. The regular one, it's away, but I have it and it smells very different to this. I'm obsessed with this. Oh, it smells so good. My last secret weapon for white bases is my all-time favorite white eyeshadow, Sugar Pills Taco. It is amazing. It's by far the best white eyeshadow I've ever tried. And I just stamped this onto any areas that need a little bit more help. Now for the interesting part. I'm taking my Meron Water Activated Paints palette and I'm just going to be using the white shade, dipping my brush into a little bit of water, and you just want to work this into the paint until it's more of a creamy consistency, and then to paint the head. These are so much easier to get out of your hair than cream paints because they're water activated, and so as soon as you get them wet, then they start to dissolve. So that is amazing. Now I'm just taking that water activated paint down my neck. For water activated paints to get the most pigment, what I've found is the best is to do this kind of X motion, and you'll get the least amount of streaks and it'll also be the most pigmented. Just to blend the neck together a little bit and make it seem a little bit less splotchy, I'm just taking some more of that Meron white setting powder and just buffing it together. Now I'm going back into this Meron palette. Also, can we talk about how much white I just used? I definitely need to buy all white separately, but I'm going to be using this shade right here to do some of that like signature blue markings on this side of my face. For this, I'm using a fan brush just to get more of that brush stroke feel. Question is though, do I do my ear or do I not do my ear? Wish you guys were here and so you could tell me. I feel like I do the ear. Sorry to anybody who didn't want me to do it, but here we go. Yeah, I like it. I love doing looks that really push me outside of my comfort zone, and this is something so different to a look that I would usually do, and it's so much fun. I'm taking this hot pink shade right here in the same palette. It looks really red on camera, but I promise it's just a hot pink, and I'm going to be adding that right here. To clean up some of these brush strokes, I'm just using a smaller painting brush. This is from a set that I got from AliExpress. I need to add some splatters, pink splatters to the middle of my face. I'm using one of those plastic sheets you get in eyeshadow palettes as a palette to mix on. I like how big they are. Also, they're free anytime that you get an eyeshadow palette. Plus, it's like a little bit more sustainable, you know? Being a little eco-friendly over here. A lot of it eco-friendly. we should all be eco-friendly. I'm just adding some water to get a very watery consistency of the pink, so that way I can actually get those splatter marks. And I'm actually gonna test some on the actual palette as well. So you can see, I don't wanna pour this everywhere, but you can see I just tested some and they're pretty tiny splatters, and I want less larger splatters. So I might actually want to do a different brush to achieve that. I just grabbed the big brush I was using for my hair earlier. If I very forcefully shake this one, it gives me the look that I want. Okay, here goes nothing. I think I just need to paint them. I'll try to paint one and we'll see how that goes. So I'm just using that pencil brush I grabbed earlier. So obviously this is starting to look very pre-planned, so I think I'm going back to the splatter plan, but I'm gonna try to use a different brush. This is getting everywhere in my room. I like need to protect the blue somehow. Paper towels. Oh gosh. Definitely glad that I covered up the blue side for that. Luckily it doesn't seem like a lot of the pink splatters got on my rug, just everything else. I'm gonna use the black from that same palette. So now, just to darken up this line, I look psychotic. Before today, I made this, which looks kind of complicated, but it's not. This is a floral ring. You can find them in like the floral section. It was gold and I just spray painted it black. These are little pieces of a foam board, which you can get any sort of craft store, Walmart, anything like that. I cut out the arrows and I cut out this to say Blink 182, painted them with acrylic paint. And then I just used a regular old headband, attached it with wire, and spray painted it. And so that way, when it is placed on, it completes the look. It looks a little creepy when I open my eyes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited for this new chapter in my life, and I appreciate your support more than you will ever know. Feel free, if there's any sort of videos that you want to see, comment them down below and I can definitely make those. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye. Say hi. Oh, yes. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Got a little bit on my arm, none on my face.